The official UFC 322 weigh-ins took place this morning, and every fighter on the main card stepped onto the scale, with one significant miss that immediately became the headline of the event. The night's main event is confirmed, as Jack Della Maddalena weighed in at 169.8 pounds while Islam Makhachev came in at 170 pounds on the dot. With both fighters successfully making weight, all eyes now shift to their matchup and particularly to Makhachev's physical transformation, as he has moved from competing at lightweight to now appearing fully settled into the welterweight division. Many fans and analysts have already begun discussing the dramatic difference in his frame since fighting at 155. The co-main event is also official. Valentina Shevchenko and Zhang Li both made weight without issue, and each fighter came in at 124.6 pounds. Their matchup will proceed as scheduled with the women's flyweight title on the line, bringing additional anticipation to a division that continues to evolve rapidly. Moving down the card, Sean Brady and Michael Morales both weighed in for their welterweight matchup. Brady hit the scale at 169.4 pounds, while Morales came in at 170.6 pounds. With both fighters cleared for competition, this bout is expected to play a crucial role in determining the future landscape of the top contenders within the division. Leon Edwards and Carlos Prates also successfully made weight. Edwards stepped on the scale at 170 pounds exactly and Prates weighed in at 169.8 pounds. Their fight remains intact and has generated excitement due to the stylistic contrast between the veteran championship experience of Edwards and the dynamic momentum Prates brings into the octagon. The lone concern of the morning came from the lightweight fight between Beneil Dariush and Benoit Saint-Denis. Saint-Denis weighed in at 155.6 pounds, but Dariush came in at 157.2 pounds, making him 1.2 pounds over the lightweight limit. As a result of missing weight, the UFC has issued a 20% purse fine to Dariush. Despite the weight miss, the fight will still go forward as planned, which is welcome news for fans who consider this matchup one of the most exciting stylistic pairings of the event. With all fights now official and the final card locked in, anticipation for UFC 322 has reached its peak. The scales are closed, the matchups are confirmed, and now the attention turns to fight night and what these matchups will mean for their divisions moving forward. During the UFC 322 press conference, Carlos Prates delivered a bold warning to Leon Edwards that immediately caught the attention of fans and the media. While speaking with reporters, Prates stated with absolute confidence that he will be the first fighter to knock Leon Edwards out, and he plans to do it in the very first round. He did not hesitate in predicting the outcome and made it clear that he is not arriving in the octagon simply to compete, but to make a statement that will secure him the next title shot. Prates went on to compare Edwards to some of his past opponents who shared a similar reputation for durability. He pointed specifically to Jeff Neal and Li Jingliang, both of whom had never been knocked out before facing him. Prates explained that he has developed a reputation for being the fighter who hands elite opponents the first knockout loss of their careers. He emphasized that his power, accuracy, and finishing ability in the opening round are unmatched and that this pattern will continue on Saturday night. According to Prates, once again he will deliver a knockout to an opponent who has never experienced one before, and doing so against a former champion like Leon Edwards will guarantee his path to the welterweight title. The comments immediately stirred conversation, as Leon Edwards is known for his striking defense, composure under pressure, and durability. Edwards has faced some of the best strikers in the sport and rarely finds himself in danger. Prates, however, insists that none of that will matter once the cage door closes. He believes his power and timing will be too much and that fans will witness Edwards stopped in a way they have never seen. Outside the octagon, Prates began making headlines the moment fight week began. He arrived driving a custom UFC and Marlboro-branded Toyota Supra, instantly drawing attention and sparking discussion online. Many saw it as a show of confidence and personality, reinforcing that Prates has no intention of blending into the card quietly. His approach throughout the week has been aggressive, energetic, and unapologetic, matching the tone of the prediction he made at the press conference. As fight night approaches, the question now becomes whether Carlos Prates can truly outstrike Leon Edwards and finish him in the opening round as promised. The confidence is there, the power is proven, and the stakes could not be higher. With the division on the line and the winner potentially positioned to earn a title shot, the pressure surrounding this matchup continues to build. Fans now wait to see whether Prates will back up his words or whether Leon Edwards will once again remind the division why he has been one of the most difficult fighters to defeat in modern MMA. The situation surrounding Isaac Dulgarian has intensified significantly as he now faces serious allegations of fight fixing. What began as a betting scandal a couple of weeks ago has evolved into something much larger, and the tension around the investigation continues to rise. At this point, most MMA fans are already familiar with the story, so there is no need to revisit every detail of what has happened. For a while after the fight there were very few updates, aside from Dana White confirming that the FBI was actively investigating the situation and Factory X denying rumors that the FBI had raided their gym. Now, the Nevada Athletic Commission has added even more fuel to the controversy by officially suspending Isaac Dulgarian during their most recent meeting. According to multiple reports, the commission held their scheduled monthly session and made the decision to suspend him. Next week they are expected to review the situation further and determine whether the suspension should be extended and for what duration. This development has raised even more questions about the long-term consequences Dulgarian may face. Interestingly, all of this has unfolded at the same time the UFC announced a major partnership with Polymarket. Dana White and representatives from TKO traveled to the New York Stock Exchange to introduce the deal. Polymarket is a prediction-style betting platform that allows fans to gamble on very specific UFC outcomes, such as who will earn Fight of the Night or even whether former President Donald Trump will attend UFC 322. The timing of this announcement sparked a strong reaction across the MMA community. Ariel Helwani commented on X, explaining that the Dulgarian situation made him wonder whether the UFC would choose to distance itself from prop bets to avoid the type of betting chaos that occurred 2 weeks ago. However, the announcement of the Polymarket partnership has instead suggested the promotion may be moving further into prop-style betting, potentially opening the door to highly specific in-fight wagers in the future. Dana White appeared on CNBC to speak about the new partnership while also addressing the ongoing scandal. During the interview, he emphasized that it was the UFC who contacted the FBI after the suspicious fight, not the other way around. The organization called Dulgarian and his lawyer immediately afterward to ask if he was injured, owed money, or had anything unusual affecting the fight. They denied everything, but once the fight ended quickly in the first round, UFC officials left the Octagon area and called the FBI. Dana stated that the FBI is now deeply involved in the case and that situations like these are unfortunately going to happen in every major sport. He added that if anyone attempts anything similar in the UFC, he will be the first to pursue them and do everything possible to bury them. Dana White recently spoke with Fox Sports Australia to discuss the highly anticipated matchup between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. According to Dana, this fight represents one of the biggest opportunities of JDM's career and has the potential to completely reshape his future in the UFC. He emphasized that beating someone like Islam Makhachev is not only about winning a championship fight but about proving yourself against one of the greatest fighters the sport has ever seen. Dana noted that Islam tried to move up divisions and take another belt, and for JDM to step in against a champion of that caliber is something few fighters would ever be willing to do. Dana went on to explain that regardless of how JDM feels right now, whether he senses disrespect or believes he has been underestimated, he must understand who he is going up against. Makhachev has built a nearly flawless legacy, and the respect he receives is earned. For Jack Della Maddalena to secure a win over a fighter of Islam's level would be career-defining. Dana said a victory would immediately elevate JDM to global superstardom and remove any doubt about whether he belongs among the elite. It would not only give him the belt but prove to the entire world that he is the real deal and not just a rising prospect. Dana also stressed the magnitude of the moment beyond championship implications. He explained that some fights change a fighter's life forever, and this is one of those nights. A win over Islam Makhachev would transform JDM's career trajectory, open the door to massive opportunities, and push him into conversations about the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. Dana believes the pressure is enormous, but so is the reward. The spotlight, the expectations, and the criticism can be overwhelming, yet JDM has shown the confidence and determination of someone who truly believes he belongs in this position. According to Dana, if Jack Della Maddalena pulls it off, everything in his life changes on Sunday. His legacy shifts instantly, his fanbase explodes, and he becomes one of the most marketable and respected names in mixed martial arts. Dana concluded by saying that these rare moments are why athletes fight at the highest level. This is the type of challenge that defines a champion, and JDM now has the chance to prove that he is ready for greatness. Shavkat Rakhmonov has officially fired back at Jack Della Maddalena following recent comments about the welterweight title picture. In an interview with MMA Fighting, JDM was asked whether he still views Shavkat as the #1 contender for the division. To the surprise of many, he suggested that inactivity comes with consequences and that the division has moved forward without Shavkat. JDM explained that it is difficult for him to say who is next in line, but he believes that when a fighter remains inactive, they naturally fall behind. He pointed to Sean Brady and Ian Gary as examples of fighters who have stayed active and continued facing top competition. According to him, it is hard to justify Shavkat keeping his spot when others have been fighting consistently. He added that he will simply take whatever opponent the UFC gives him and focus on defending his championship. Shortly afterward, Shavkat responded on Twitter and made it clear that he did not appreciate the implication that he no longer belongs at the top of the division. He claimed that the only reason JDM received a title shot was because Shavkat was out with an injury and unable to compete. Shavkat reminded JDM that he himself was inactive for nearly 14 months before earning the title fight opportunity and accused him of conveniently forgetting his own time away from the Octagon. Shavkat also highlighted the timeline of JDM's career, noting that before he defeated Belal Muhammad to become champion, his previous fight was against Gilbert Burns more than a year earlier. Although Shavkat has not competed since December 7, 2024, when he beat Ian Gary by unanimous decision at UFC 310, that time away is still shorter than JDM's last gap between fights. Shavkat's absence was due to a torn meniscus, which required surgery in May. Since then he has returned to full training and appears to be preparing for a comeback early next year. The big question now is whether he should automatically receive the next title shot after the matchup between JDM and Islam Makhachev this Saturday. During the UFC 322 press conference, Dana White was asked whether the winner of Sean Brady vs. Michael Morales would receive the next title opportunity. He answered with a simple response of sure, suggesting that the path to a championship fight for Shavkat may not be immediate. Based on that comment, Shavkat will likely need to secure another high-level victory before being considered for a title shot again.